Hello everyone, we are Team 1 and we are about to demo A06 for you. We are not running the scenarios that you saw in A05. So let's run the Selenium TC01 on the server which we already have running. Selenium TC01 is all the scenarios for a parking user. The first scenario is where the parking user will try to update his own profile. We start by registering the user. After register, he will update his name, submit. His profile has been updated. The second scenario is where the user will again try to update his profile, but this time he changes his username as well, and he gives a username that already exists in the database, so that's not allowed. So he went on update, he changed the username. User 12 is already existing in the database, so we got an error over there. The third scenario is where the parking user will try to do some reservations. So for every test we will first register the user, whoever it is. We will then log him in and complete whatever scenario we want. As you can see, we are reading parameters from a CSV file. That's why it actually closes the browser's window and reopens it again. So you can see that we are validating the time errors. We have three types of time errors on the reservation, that is a start error, end error and a compare error. So for the first two cases, what we did was we entered a time that was in the past, then we entered a start time that was after the end time, that was before the end time. So I think in this scenario we will try to request a reservation that is, so it was the previous one where we tried to request a reservation that was more than 3 hours. So now we moved on to where the time errors are done, and we are trying to set the errors on credit card. So it requests a reservation, selects a spot, and he entered a wrong, I think he entered a wrong month for the credit card. You can't see the validation error. Next time I'll try to just scroll it down. So after he selects the, so you saw that he's just got the message that the year must be 4 digits. So in this scenario, what we are trying to do is we are trying to set each and every error field at least once. We are testing all combination of errors with the unit test, but with the UI we are just making sure that every field gets error message at least once. So this will be the happy path for reservation. This time the user will successfully register and request a reservation, which is also successful. So the reservation is successful. In the last scenario, this is again a happy path, but this time he will select all the options as no. So his card total would be 0. In this case, he will not require to enter any credit card information. So see, you saw the total was 0, so he just selected reserve and his reservation was completed. In the next scenario, we will register different types of users, and different types meaning users with different permit types. So we just registered a parking user with premium. Before that it was basic. We did a mid-range right now, and we'll do an access as well. Before them all, we also registered a parking manager. So the parking manager just logged in and he added a new area. He will create another area with a different permit types. He will create another area with mid-range, and in the end he will create an area with access. So with the area that the parking manager just created, the parking user would log in and request a reservation on the new area. He just saw that you just saw his reservation. So this user is premium, that's why he saw all three types of spots. Now we will see his own reservation. Now we log in with mid. We will make a reservation. Mid range can see basic and mid range. And he will just see the reservation that he made. Reservation ID was 296. This time we have access. Access can only see access. He will make a reservation. He clicks on view parking spots, which is basically which shows the details if the spot is blocked or not. And then he saw his own reservation. So the next scenario is where the user will make a reservation and then edit the reservation and also cancel a reservation. So the user is just trying to make a reservation right now. After the reservation is complete, he will edit his own reservation. So he is editing the reservation right now. He's selecting the time, the spots, and everything that he previously selected, and the reservation has been edited. Now he's trying to delete the reservation. The last scenario is where the parking user will make more than 3 reservations in a day. So we just registered the user. The user will make his first reservation. Now we'll do another reservation. This is the second reservation. You can see the number of spots has reduced from 180 to 179. Now we'll make a third reservation. You should see 178 spots now available. Yes. And he's trying to do the fourth reservation now, but it's not allowed. So we are done with all the scenarios that we had for the parking user. So after the parking user, we will now move on to the parking manager and run his scenarios. So the first scenario for parking manager is again update profile. The parking manager can update profiles of other users as well. So we will register a parking manager and make him update other users profile. So he will search the user that he wants to update. He gets his information, he updates it. The second scenario is that the parking manager will view details of a user. Once again, we will register the parking manager, and after he registers, he will search for a user and view his details. So he selects the parking USE and he gets all the information of that user. In the third scenario, we will look at some of the violations that we have. So he will set certain reservations as no-show. You can see he is marking reservation 9 as no-show. He clicks it again so that we mark it false, and it gets updated from the database. We will do the same for overstay now, overstay or overdue. So we set it to true first, but then we made it false. We make it true again. And you can see that we are like the parking user logged in, and since the parking manager had marked his reservation as overstay, he could see it in his dashboard. Now the parking manager is trying to add some areas. He created a new area. He saved it. After add, we will go in edit area. He selected an area and updated its name, changed the name. Now he added a new spot to the existing area. He blocked a spot from the existing area. We have one more scenario for block and unblock of spots. So once again, we are adding another area and we will block certain spots from it. So you can see that we blocked a spot, and you can see the number of spots reduced to 9 from 10. The last one is where the parking manager can edit a user's reservation as well as cancel it. So we are first logging in a user and creating a reservation for the parking manager to cancel or block. So the reservation has been made. Now the parking manager will actually delete his reservation. We also went into the edit reservation, but we did not show it since it's already been shown in the parking user. The third scenario is where a user will create 3 reservations in a row, and the parking manager will mark all 3 of them as no show. So the user's account will get revoked. So we are making another reservation now. This is the last reservation, the third one. After the user has made his reservations, the parking manager will now log in and mark those 3 reservations as no show. You can see true over here. Now the user will again log in and he'll try to make a reservation, but his account has been revoked by the manager. So this was the end of the scenarios for parking manager. So after the parking manager, we will now move on to the admin and run his scenarios. So for the admin as well, the first scenario is that admin can update other users' profiles. So we will register the admin and then make him update other users' profile, and then deal with all the things he can do one by one. The first is edit. He selects some other user's profile and he updates it. After that we will do change role in another test. So he will now search a user, and after that he will change the user's role. He searched the user, you can see all the details that the user has. One more user. Now he's actually revoking a user. He gives a comment before he revokes another user's account. We just logged in from the account that got revoked. Now he will also unrevoke the user. He does not have to have a comment for unrevoking. Now we are changing a user's role. So we change this user's role, and that's the end of the scenarios that we had for admin. So we just have one last test case that remains, which is again related to update profile. In this test case we will just submit the update profile form empty, and it should fill up all the validations that we had on the page so that we get coverage on our controllers. So we registered a new admin and went on update, and we cleared out the form and just submitted it, and we got all the errors that were there, and that's it. That was really the last scenario. We just added it for coverage.